As a boxing enthusiast, it's difficult to comprehend the motivation claimed by former unified welterweight champion Keith Thurman. When he expresses his desire to get back to knocking people out, especially considering his limited activity in the ring over the past 2 to 3 years. In fact, Thurman only fought once last year in February. That was 16 months ago. It begs the question, what motivation is he really referring to? Thurman recently shared his thoughts, saying, "The one thing there was a time when I heard people commenting, is there a gatekeeper? I never met a gatekeeper that had one loss in the sport of boxing." It appears that Thurman is challenging the notion of being labeled a gatekeeper, emphasizing that gatekeepers in boxing typically have more than just one loss on their record. However, his words alone don't dispel the doubts surrounding his career. In the past, Thurman was renowned for his ability to deliver knockouts, but he shifted his focus from seeking the spectacular finish to putting on a complete show. Now, he expresses his intention to return to those critical blows that can decisively end a fight. Thurman claims that his motivation for dropping people stems from witnessing the punching power of Tank Davis. Davis exemplifies the impact of a single powerful punch, reinforcing the notion that one should never give up on the exclamation point in boxing. Thurman believes that maintaining that knockout power is crucial for his career. Throughout his career, Thurman was consistently labeled as a puncher, but he acknowledges that as boxers reach the 12-round level, especially if they aim to stay at the top, they can't afford to be exposed later in fights. It's not enough to be dangerous for only 6 or 7 rounds. Thurman realizes that the perception of him as a gatekeeper doesn't stem from a solitary loss. Instead, it arises from his extended absence from the ring after losing to Manny Pacquiao. Taking a 2-year break and then returning without a convincing victory against Mario Barrios has led many to doubt his ability to compete with the younger generation of fighters. It's not just the loss, but the lack of activity and impactful performances that have contributed to the perception of him as a gatekeeper. If Thurman genuinely wants to prove that he still possesses the skills and determination to succeed, there's only one way to do it: by stepping back into the ring and demonstrating his capabilities. Interviews and sound bites alone won't be sufficient to convince anyone of his prowess. Unfortunately, Thurman's pursuit of a highly anticipated fight against Errol Spence Jr. has come to a halt with the official announcement of the Spence vs. Crawford bout. Waiting for an opportunity against Errol hasn't paid off, and in hindsight, Thurman should have pursued other fights last year. Instead, he seemed content to wait for things to unravel between Spence and Crawford, hoping to step in as a replacement. However, that strategy didn't work out, and now Thurman faces a critical crossroads in his career. Considering Thurman's status as a former champion, it might be worthwhile for him to explore a potential matchup against another former champion such as Yordenis Ugas. Of course, for such a fight to materialize, both teams must approach it with a realistic understanding of their market value. Neither Thurman nor Ugas currently hold significant drawing power in the American market, necessitating a pragmatic approach when it comes to negotiations. It's important for Thurman and fighters in similar positions to be mindful of their demands for excessive compensation, as it may hinder their chances of securing meaningful fights. Simply relying on interviews to assert their relevance isn't going to cut it anymore. Keith better think of something quick, or he will be gone to the island of the unknown.